Yo, 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 yo. What up, everybody? Let's bring Felipe to the stage. Felipe, what up, dog?
How we all doing? How you doing, Mike?
How's your day, bro?
Good, good, very productive.
Love it, love it.
Yes, sir.
What do we got today, bro?
Man, I got a call that the seller did not like my offer, and then called me back complaining about the offer and saying that I shouldn't be marketing to him and I should be marketing to people that are distressed and yada yada yada. And fast forward, I got him to possibly entertain an ovation.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, what up, dog?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this lead you sent over to me, I believe, a week ago. Um, it was a guy that was you guys were able to. I'm not sure if you got him under contract, but you had like some type of verbal agreement, and when you tried to sign it, he kind of wiggled his way out.
Oh, you're talking about, is it
La
New
France,
Bedford?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what happened?
So his asking price is, in my opinion, around ARV, and the house completely needs to be renovated. Like it needs work. You can't live in it right now. So I kind of brought him back to reality. I was like, hey, like obviously I'm an investor. You're also an investor, so take my advice or my opinion with a grain of salt. But I think the houses in your area or the only duplexes in your area are selling for 320 to 350, and you're asking around that price. And it would be just irresponsible of me as an investor to pay that market price when I know I need to do work with it.
Okay.
And then he was asking me about what price I was looking to offer, and I said it's probably not even worth it because it's going to be in the lower. And I know you said you didn't want to be lower. And then I told him I
Did
was
you
like,
talk about our previous deal that we were trying to do with him?
nope.
Okay, so he doesn't even know that
I
you're
went
looking.
in cold. Yeah, I went in super cold. New investor. Um, yeah, he just thinks I'm some guy he met like a few days ago, which is true
Okay, so why would he ever sell it?
because he has a bunch of properties, and all these properties need work, and he's juggling all these properties.
Okay, so what are you going to do to solve his problem?
So we couldn't come up to a cash deal arrangement because he was asking for way too high. We were too far apart. But I told him, like, hey, I understand completely. Like, you want to make as much money as an investor. I completely see your point of view. I mean, your best bet, honestly, is to fix it up yourself and sell it yourself.
And what
He's
he
like,
said?
yeah, no, no, no. But I also have all these properties I'm juggling. Like he's like keeping the conversation going as well. So then I plant the seed with the route Novation. So I kind of explain him, I kind of give him the gist of it, and he says he's interested. He but he wants to give it like a few weeks to see if his crew is gonna like give up on the property or something because they've been like very slow or dragging their feet. And if they do, he wants to go with us. I haven't given him an official number yet. I gave him a range of where we'll be at, and it's the high twos, and he's willing to entertain high twos.
And the ARV's 330.
I'd say 350 if it's a fresh flip.
Okay, so Novation doesn't work at those numbers, bro.
Why not?
If it's 350 and it needs work, and your offer is going to be high twos, how are you going to make money?
Well, 350, and then I put in renovations 35, like you said. I know it's. I told him we'd probably be in the 60s, the 260s, but I said everything is up in the air because I have to see the property before I give you a valid number.
Okay.
So 350 minus 8%, that's 322. Then minus let's say 35 because it's a cosmetic more of a flip.
What'd you tell him exactly? What'd you say? I think would be somewhere in the high twos. Is that what your verbiage
I
was?
said I think we'd be somewhere in the high twos. Would you even entertain anything under 3?
I think you're shooting yourself in your foot, bro. You keep giving these offers. It's like what we went over yesterday. You keep giving these offers, and what's happening is the sellers are getting excited about the offer, right? High twos. You're saying, hey, I'd probably be somewhere in the high twos, but I have to go see it and all this stuff. It's like, no, bro. If we're able to do this, what is your number? Get the number from them. They keep getting the number from you. We don't do that, right? Until we know what we can offer. We do that as a last resort. That's what I'm saying. Like, your absolutely last resort, when the freaking seller is doing whatever it takes not to give you any type of number, then yes, freaking throw a range out there, or just say, hey, I think, we bought a house down the street or something like that. But dude, it's a crutch. It's not the way to go.
Okay.
Get them to understand the process of what your offer entails before you give the number and say something like, hey, if we were able to do this, that, and the other, like if you were explaining a novation agreement, if we were able to do this on the novation agreement, right, and articulate it in a way that would resonate with him, where do you think a number would be fair for you?
Okay.
Because now you're saying high twos, and what does that mean in his mind? 290 or something like that, right? Like, think about it. You're saying high twos, it doesn't really give him some good expectations, because now you're shooting yourself in the foot. If 350 is ARV and it needs $35,000 worth of work. So here's, for anybody watching, right? A novation agreement is where we have an agreement with the seller for a number that they get on the back end of our project. We don't have to pay any closing costs or real estate agent or anything to close on the property ourselves, because we're not buying it. We're just getting it up to speed for the seller. So what happens is, in this specific situation, right, Felipe is saying the ARV is $350,000. So where's our profit? What do we have to do, Felipe? Tell me. How do we find our number?
So we do minus 8% because of closing cost and realtor commissions once we sell the property.
So we're paying that?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, so 350, we're paying the selling cost. So we're paying real estate agents to sell it. We're paying the closing costs. We're dealing with any concessions. And typically, we're just going to factor 8% for that. So for me, an easy way to do it is to just take ARV and multiply it by 92%. That would be 100% minus 8%. You have 92%. So 350 times 92% brings us 322. So really, in order to sell the property, our number is at 322 net in our pocket. If we owed nothing on this property, like let's just say this property was inherited, like somebody just dropped this house in Felipe's pocket and he got it for free, and he sold it for 350, he would really net 322, right?
Yep.
So when we're doing an novation, let's factor those numbers in. So good job. So now we're at 322. Now what do we got to do?
Minus the renovation cost, which I put in $35,000.
Okay, minus $35,000 for the reno costs, and we are at $287,000.
And minus I put a $20,000 assignment.
Assignment?
Yeah. Is that what it's called in the equation?
Are we assigning the novation agreement to another person who is?
Okay. I guess I used the wrong verbiage. I wouldn't know what verbiage to use. The 20,000 fee for the concierge.
You're talking about our profit?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So Felipe wants to make $20,000. So let's figure this out really quick. $350,000 is what it would sell for on the market. Now we subtract that. That brought us down to 322. Now we're going to subtract our rehab costs in order to get it up to speed to sell at 350. Now we're at 287 after we put the repairs into it. So from there, now what do we got to figure out? Before we even figure out our profit, what's the last piece of the puzzle? Who else do we have to pay?
Talking about the seller?
Yeah, we got to pay the seller.
Okay.
So in this specific situation, we had told the seller the high 200s.
Can I backtrack a little bit real quick?
Go ahead.
I told him the high 200s, and then further down the conversation, I told him I'm looking at it right now, and roughly I'm in the 260s to 270s.
Okay.
Okay, so I already gave him a number that's not in the 80s or 90s.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you said high 200s at first, and then you kind of backtrack and said somewhere around 260, 270.
Yep, exactly.
Now, where did you get 260 or 270 from?
So if you 350, right, like Mike did, minus 8%, we're at 322. Let's say minus the 35,000 for renovations, we're now at 287. Minus our profit, which I put $20,000, 267 would be our asking price.
Okay. So let's just say, what is the price with the seller? You're saying 267 is what you want to get this under contract for a Novation Agreement?
Yes.
For the seller?
MAO, yes.
Okay, so going back to the numbers, when we were at 287 after our renovation, that's where we would be at after the renovation for the numbers. Now let's minus Felipe's contract price of what? 267 is where Felipe wants to get it under contract at. That leaves $20,000 for what? The $20,000 would now be our profit.
Correct.
So Felipe is looking at this and he's like, hey, I think we would like to make 20 grand on this particular deal. Now, my question is, why do we even give the 260 to 270? Like, what was the point of the offer if he's not even ready to make any decisions?
Because I also felt, I guess, subconscious that I did shoot myself in the foot when I said high twos. And I felt like, well, I got to bring him back to reality because he's obviously thinking 290, 280. So I just wanted to give him more of a expectation where we'll be at.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it'll sound worse if I come back to him and say, oh, we're going to be in the 60s when he was probably thinking the 80s or 90s.
Okay. So you're saying maybe we shouldn't have went down the road of giving him any preliminary type of ranges or offers?
Yeah.
Okay. How could we have went about it a different way?
I should have went through the getting his absolute bottom number first before which I thought I had it. I guess there was more there. Because he told me, because I said, so you're not looking to let this go for under 300, and he said no. So that's what I assumed his bottom number was, because that's what he said, right? So, and then I learned this like subconsciously throughout just calling people that I know, like, let's say 300 is their bottom, but I tell them 290, like, well, they're not gonna say no. Like, people say it's their bottom number, but theoretically it's not really the bottom number. Like, there's still wiggle room in there. But I feel like I need to bring the sparks into them to show them that there's still an offer there. Because now they started thinking, like, oh, well, my bottom was 300, but I mean, 260 doesn't sound too bad if you're just willing to pay me off, Like, I'll do that, which was basically what he did.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So do you think us working those numbers like that before we need to make sense? Or should we just worry about the seller's situation and figure out, hey, like, dude, where do you need to be at for real? Lowest number, like, if we go in and do the novation, right? Like once he knows that, okay, your lowest number, if we come in and do all this, you're saying is at 300. Man, I don't think we're your buyer here. Like, how do you plan on going to get that? I don't see how anybody can make money doing that. Rather than like trying to just go like, well, maybe I'll give you 260 and hoping and just looking for deals. When you're like really, I don't want to say concerned, but really like working the situation out with the seller, you then are able to go get their lowest number on a specific type of deal structure. If it's a cash offer, then what do you say? If you're about to like, if you're trying to find the lowest number on a cash offer, how could you get that lowest number from somebody?
I mean, I usually just ask. I just say, without no realtors and no lawyers, like what would be your bottom number, just hassle-free number?
Yeah, that's it. So you like you said, you don't just ask like, hey, what's your absolutely lowest number you'd ever sell this property for?
Yeah.
You explain to them what the offer entails, right? Like, okay, let's think about this. In a perfect world, I know you said that the house needs some repairs and right? Like you explain their situation. What if somebody came in and fixed all that, right? Like fixed the situation and you didn't have to deal with any of it, right? And a raw number in your pocket was what? Like, where's that number?
Mm-hmm.
So you tell them about their situation. You then explain how you can fix their situation or how somebody could potentially fix their situation. And then you ask if somebody did all that, like, where's your absolutely lowest number? Okay, got it. Yeah. I mean, I just don't see how anybody is going to ever come close to that. Like, do you have any wiggle room at all? I just don't see how an investor can make money there. How do you plan on getting that number? Right? And then if you absolutely, if their number is freaking outrageous and it would never even be close to a cash offer, it's like a $100,000 off or something like that, but you for some reason think that there's a go for a novation, then you start going down that road. Hey, have you ever thought about doing something like this? Well, if somebody did something like that, where would your number be? Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rather than just like getting on the phone and throwing out numbers and seeing what's going to stick. We don't solve problems that way. If that was the case, I would just find some, I don't know, some software that I could just text everybody an offer number. Hey, would you sell your house at X? I would figure out some way to just throw out a bunch of numbers to people without having salespeople figuring out seller situations. But it's really like, is this making sense, bro?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Because I see it like happening more and more where we're just like shooting ourselves in the foot when it comes to throwing out ranges and offers and all this stuff. It is a good way that you can get the number out of them if it's the very like last resort, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because there are sellers who are super good at negotiating and they will never give you their price. They know, hell no, I'm never giving my price. I got to at least get a range or something out of the seller. Like if you were talking to me and I was a seller, you ain't getting my number. Like you seen it today when we were on the Zoom earlier, you know?
Yep.
But now go reverse it. But yeah, with that being said, like once you gather all that information, what's going to happen is you're going to start saying, okay, cool. Mike, I think I can get this guy locked up under a novation agreement at 250. What are your thoughts? And then run it by me and I underwrite it a little bit and I see what's going on. And then I give you the okay for a number. Okay. And then going forward, I'm going to let you know why that number is a good number for us. Yep. And then going forward, you're going to be able to start making decisions on your own. And I don't even have to underwrite anything for you. You just know. which you're getting there, bro. You're starting to really understand numbers like that. Those numbers that you just gave are fairly good numbers. I'd want to be a little bit lower than that, especially if we're putting up 35 grand. But I'm gonna come up with something that you have as far like our MAO for cash offers. I'm gonna get that for you for novation agreements, which we should already have. But what else you got, dog?
I was supposed to remind you to call that seller on Market Street that
Oh,
canceled.
let's go. So what are you gonna do with that particular lead? By the way, that lead, bro.
Yep.
He's a tire kicker, dog.
Mhm.
But what are your plans with the lead?
I'm gonna call him back in a few weeks, like 2 weeks and a half, and we're gonna see how his process is going with the other house he's fixing up, and if he feels like he can't maintain fixing up these properties, he's gonna most likely go with us, like the Novation route, because he was interested in it, with someone just partnering with him and helping him getting it done.
Okay. So you said he's gonna have his crew try to get some things done.
Yeah, he has a crew, but he feels like he's saying like he's having problem with like his crews because like they keep abandoning the renovation. He has to get a new crew and everything, so it's kind of like slowing him down. So if he's interested, if we can get our crew in there to finish the job.
Okay, so why would you wait? Like I'm asking, like if I'm the seller, if I'm
yeah. Well, the reason why he'd wait is because he already has an active crew like doing stuff.
So why aren't they already doing it?
They are.
Okay, so why are we having a conversation? Aren't they just finishing it?
Because
And
he feels like they're gonna abandon the construction.
Oh, got it. So they are working on it currently, and you're worried about them not working anymore?
Yes.
Why would they ever do that?
Because it's happened to him in the past. Because all these contractors, they get another a higher priced freaking renovation somewhere, and they just leave to go and chase the money.
Got it. So I mean, do you pay them and they don't finish the work?
I don't know. I'm responding to you now.
Yeah. If that could be a reason, right? If he in the past, if they have not, if he paid them and they didn't finish, right? Like, why even stick in that pain anymore?
Well,
let's call Priscilla. That's her, right?
Yep.
Let's go, baby.
Can you bring the volume up a little bit?
Yeah, I'm trying. It's all the way up. Yeah, I'll do this. Is that better?
You have reached 508587312. To leave a voice message, press 1. To cancel and exit the system, press 9. To leave a voice message, press 1.
Dang it, now everybody has our freaking seller's lead. I mean, our seller's phone number. Oh, no. Hey, is Priscilla there?
Who's calling, please?
My name is Mike from Silver Homes.
Who?
My name's Mike. Oh, hell no.
Interesting. I think that was the husband, Lawrence.
You have reached 508-587. You have reached 50.
Have you talked to the husband at all?
No, I honestly thought that was her personal phone.
I'm trying one more time.
Have reached 5.
Dang it.
Damn, was that a quintuple dial?
I'll try later on my personal phone because it's a Brockton number.
Okay.
What else you got, dog?
I told Trina about us being the last and best offer, and she liked the idea.
Okay.
So that is on track. The property at the one that the appointment you went on with that you wanted to do a novation, and the guy he's in a whole bunch of he has a whole bunch of lien in the property and stuff. And he said he's gonna offer the tenant to buy it first.
Where is it?
New Bedford.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I talked to him yesterday, I believe, and he said he's very honest and everything about the whole situation. He said he liked the way the option you gave him, and he's actually been dodging my calls on purpose because he's been trying to get some time to see if he can get an answer from the tenants. And he said that tomorrow he will give us a firm answer on if we are able to move forward or not.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
How can we build some scarcity and some drive to get this thing done?
We can use we can use the market as a number one scarcity because it's slowly going down, so our offer cannot stay the same for a while.
Yeah, and that's honestly real talk. Like, dude, my offer is probably going to be different. That was like 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
4 weeks ago. It's going to end up being different. So it's like, it's real stuff. If you want us to get in there and get this thing done, we don't have time to wait. And at the end of the day, What are you waiting for? Tenants who have been giving you the runaround for years now?
Exactly.
Is that a good idea? What is going to change from now in a few weeks? Are they just all of a sudden going to change? Are they all of a sudden going to be different people?
Yeah.
What can we use though? Like, obviously, we're not just going to go at them and say something like that. What can we use in order to get our message across about tenants or about any situation?
You can say, well, if this problem's been going on for the past years, why is it going to change in a few weeks?
Right, but how can we go about it like a different way, rather than just saying that, like,
Oh, okay. Like a
bluntly?
tactical way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, Mike. I don't know, like a tactical, nice way to go about it.
We could use a third party story.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, you could say, oh yeah, we had these sellers that these tenants were 100% just taking advantage of their property, and you know, they weren't paying at all, and they said they were going to buy the property, and that kept them in limbo because they didn't know what's going on. They said they're going to get a loan, but it never happened. And at the end of the day, they just kept losing money because they had to keep paying for the mortgage and they couldn't afford it. And we came in, we were able to get them to either pay or get out, and we fixed the whole situation by buying their property.
Dude, third party stories are so good.
Mm-hmm.
I would challenge you, bro, to every single time, like literally have a tally tomorrow while you're doing calls and tally every single time you do a third party story.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts being stuck in your head. And then
Yeah, sometimes I forget it.
100%, dude. Even I do. But it's like, it's super, super important. It's a super, super ninja way to get your message across. It does so much. It doesn't even just get your message across. It also builds credibility. It does all the things.
Mm-hmm.
What else, bro?
That was pretty much about it. I'm gonna call someone right now and see if they pick up. The guy in Rhode Island that we have a Novation verbal offer, but he hasn't agreed to it yet.
Okay. Let's see what's up.
I've called him like 3 times today, probably, but we'll see.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated
Send me a voice.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice.
Yeah, he's sending me a voicemail. Do you think there's such thing as too much in follow up? Because I feel like sometimes I annoy them and they just don't want to talk to me anymore.
Good. If you have a good reason to follow up, why not?
Mm-hmm.
I got I'm gonna pour some value into the YouTube channel today. I'm gonna pause it and it's kind of a long call, so I don't want to go too long, but this is Mike asking for a price reduction on a property. Ready?
Hi, Donna. It's Mike.
Oh, hi, Mike.
How are you?
Oh, not bad, and you?
I'm doing good. Did I reach you at a good time?
Oh, it's no bad time. It's okay.
Okay, cool. So, hey, Kamani went over there yesterday. I know you guys met. And here's the thing. I just good and bad news.
Okay.
Which one would you like first?
Dad.
Well, the bad news is after having Kamani walk through it, and he's kind of the expert for us in that area, we're going to have a tough time selling this for the price that we thought we were going to sell it for. And here's the thing. I don't want to catch you into a bind where we have the property up for sale at some sort of number and it won't sell while you have another property that you're trying to close on, right? Like, I don't want to put you in that type of situation. So I don't want there to be any situation where Donna is like, hey, I'm supposed to close on this property in a month, and for some reason my house is not selling. And that reason would be that we have it listed at too high of a price. Does that make sense?
Okay. Right, that makes sense.
So what did I do there?
You kind of showed her that you are on her side and you don't want this bad thing to happen,
Mm-hmm.
thus creating more of a credibility and like you're working with them than against them.
Yes. And this is what I've been doing this whole entire time with this particular lead. Like when we were trying to negotiate the numbers and everything, I was going back to my lender and saying, hey, you know, I'm trying to work with you on this thing. So I've been on the good side of this seller the whole entire time.
Yep.
Originally, we thought that, just from our accounts on our end, we thought that the house would sell for $575. But here's the thing,
Okay.
Monty is an agent out that way who knows the market much better as far as Worcester goes than we do. Now, Kamani's number came out a little bit different. He's at 550, right? So what we would do is we would put the money into the property, and we'd obviously need that money back. And essentially, we would have to be at 575 in order to get that money back. So if we put it on if we put it on the market somewhere at that 575 number and we didn't get it, we'd be sitting in limbo until we found a buyer that came and bought it. Now, we want to list it at a price that we know is guaranteed.
And you said 550?
Right. So with that being said, we would be comfortable moving forward. So there goes the bad news. The good news is we still want to move forward. We just have to be at 450 if we're going to do this thing.
For me, that's a $20,000 drop.
I know, and I truly, truly apologize, but it's just, I don't want to get you caught up in the next few months here and string this thing along, but it's just where we have to be.
Trying to figure out what would I have left. Let me talk to my grandson, and can you call me back tomorrow?
100%. When should I call you back?
Anytime's good, Swan.
Okay.
All right.
As far as the stuff,
I think it would have to probably go lower because, you know, there were more things wrong with it than I thought.
yeah.
I wasn't thinking that much lower. I was thinking lower, but like I said, I didn't think that much lower. So, I'd like to get somewhere around 460 or something.
Yeah, well, that's where I agree.
So already just it's like a 12-minute conversation, but 3 minutes in, she already came down to 460. Now, I wasn't going to budge. I wasn't going to say, I think we could actually do the deal at 460, but I wasn't going to budge. I want to be firm on that 450 number. I feel more comfortable. Ended up being a follow-up because she does have to talk to her grandson who was at work at the time. But we'll get it at 450, 100%. Like towards the end of the conversation, you hear her pretty much agree. Like, yeah, I asked her, okay, well, if your grandson is on board with 450, I know you want to run it by him. What would prevent us from moving forward? She's like, I think we can do it. I really just want to talk to him. So with that being said, what did you learn from that, and how could you utilize that in your offers?
I think the best thing you've done throughout the whole follow up with this lead is you were always on their side, and so that helps them. It just helps in the whole situation, as in like, oh, this guy's trying to help me, even though he's asking for a price reduction, because he's trying to make everything go smoothly. And his opinion is, if we get it at this number, it just shit's about to hit the fan, and it's all going to be bad for everyone, right? So you plainly ask for a price reduction, and you apologize, and and you blame it on the lender, so they can't be mad at you. They're mad at fictional third party person, and that's about it. Like you are working with them throughout the process to figure out where we need to be and how they have the best outcome.
Right. So with this being said, going back to the beginning of this call, right?
Yep.
Not this call that we just went over, but our call today.
Yep.
Just saying, hey, I think would be in a range of this, that, and the other. Is that being on the seller's side? Or is that getting in a bidding war or whatever with the seller?
Yeah.
Getting a negotiating war with the seller.
Yeah. It's definitely getting to the negotiation.
Yeah, you're putting the wall up.
Yep.
So that's why, what could you say, right? Like, if somebody truly isn't giving you their number, why could you say as far as, hey, it's important to get your number because of X? What is that X?
You're saying I'm saying that it's important that I get your number, Mr.
You're saying
Seller.
that to the seller, like the seller won't give you the number, but you want to be on their side.
Okay.
Why is it important for the seller to give you their number? What can you ask, and what can you tell them?
Mr. Seller, it's important that we get your number first, because it's easier for us to go up to your number than starting down where our lender is most likely is going to start down, which is a number that I don't even know what it is, but I know you're not going to like it.
I like that. Now you're on the seller's side. Boom.
Yeah, because our and you can keep going, like, our lender is super stingy, and obviously he's going to try to get the best deal possible.
I like that. I love it. Yeah, what I would say is something along the lines of like, hey, yeah, like I'm just trying to get, where exactly you need to be at, so I can go and work this thing with my lender and get this thing done for you. I know your number is super important to you. I just got to figure out like where your absolutely lowest number is, so I can work it out with my lender, because he's going to come in and just give a crazy low number. I mean, at the end of the day, he'd probably want to buy this house for $1 if he could.
Yep.
It's very similar to what you just said. Now you're on the seller side. So boom, what do we guys? Tuesday, bro. We getting a contract this week or what, dog?
Man, we got sellers that don't want to talk, that are ready to sign, most likely. I feel like I've been bombarding them too much. I think that might be a downfall as well.
Are you using different numbers?
Yeah, I got like 2 different numbers that I like to switch off on, because some of them associate me with that number and they pick up because they have it saved, So I make sure to put in a note which numbers to use. But if they don't pick up, I'll just flip it on them. Like, I'll wait like an hour and call them back with a different number.
Okay. Got it. We got one under contract today, actually.
Nice.
For an appointment that I went on last week. But it's a sticky situation. There's 2 things that we need to figure out. There's an ex-wife on the deed who doesn't want to sign off on the purchase and sale agreement, but has agreed to just be released from the deed. Like, she doesn't want to be on the deed anymore. She doesn't want any proceeds. She doesn't want anything. She even sent me an email today. She's just like, I don't care what it takes to just take my name off the deed, but I'm not signing any purchase and sale agreement because I don't want to be in a legal bind with it. So I'm like, okay. So this just happened, like, literally an hour ago. And to be honest, I don't know what to do in that situation. So what do? We bring it to the attorneys and we see how we get her name off the deed. What does it look like to get her name off the deed? Do we have to is it just a document that we have her sign, or is it an email that we have her send us, or like, what is it?
Mm-hmm.
There's that. And then there's a bunch of liens on the property that have been there for a little bit that we got to figure out. So we just got to make sure the total payoff isn't over our contract price. So we got to run title.
Okay.
We got to figure out how we get her name off the deed. She's agreed to it. The seller, the husband, already signed the agreement, but she didn't agree to sign it. So we have a signature from the husband. Now we just got to figure out, okay, how do we get that the ex-wife off the deed so that she doesn't have to sign off on the purchase and sale agreement, and let's run title and see exactly what the total payoff is and what all the liens and encumbrances are on the property.
Got it. And she doesn't want to be in a legally binding contract because why? Is she trying to do something and she can't be in some type of binding contract?
Well, here's the deal. Our contracts are very heavy on the buyer side, right? So if the seller, right, like let's just say the husband does some things to breach the contract or something like that,
Yep.
we can legally come after him for that.
Okay.
You see what I mean? And she doesn't want to be caught up in any of that. She's a very smart lady.
Okay, I see.
Doesn't want to be, she just doesn't want to be caught up in the weeds of a real estate transaction if she doesn't have to be.
Got it.
So it has nothing to do with like the price or whatever. She just doesn't want anything to do with it.
Doesn't want anything to. And it is one of the JV leads?
No, this is a lead that was in our system. We've been following it for a while. I'll send it over to you.
No worries. Because I was going to plug the website if no one wants to know. silverhomies.com. If you want Mike to close your deals.
What's up, yo?
Send it over.
How do I edit this thing?
It was already on the screen.
Okay.
There we go. silverhomies.com.
I will close your damn lead and we can make some money together. Let's go. So there's that one. And then there's also another one, a novation agreement that we got to go get a power of attorney signed off on, the one that I told you about earlier.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to go get that. I have a notary going to the seller's house at 5:30. I got to go meet him there.
And that one's the JV one.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Got it.
So what we will be doing for this one, it's a novation agreement, like we were talking about earlier, what novation agreements are. But when you do one, you have to list the property, right, with your realtors. And for this particular one, you don't have to do this with all of them, but for this particular one, because the seller's kind of, he texted us something that shows me that he wants to squirm out of it. So we are getting power of attorney from the seller in order for us to sign off on the listing agreement and the purchase and sale with the end buyer. So we will now have the full rights to sign off on a listing agreement to put his house on the market and to sign off on the purchase and sale agreement to sell the house. And then all he'll have to do is sign off on the closing docs.
Okay.
Cool, bro. Well, let's take some shit to the finish line this week, bro.
Yes, sir.
Any questions or anything?
Not really. I mean, I think the biggest breakthrough on this live was, I guess I was using the numbers as a crutch, and I didn't notice until you just called me out on it.
I didn't call you out on it, bro.
You gotta call me out.
Yeah,
Like, bro, you're using the numbers. You don't tell them the numbers.
you
But
came to a
you're right.
realization, dog.
Yeah, you're right.
You came to a realization on your own of it.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. All right, cool. So everybody, silverhomies.com. If you go to this website, what you will see is essentially like a web form that you fill out. So if you have a lead that you want me to call, or you have a deal that you want us to find a buyer for, or it's even a deal that's in our neck of the woods near Brockton, anywhere like 45 minutes out of Brockton, and we would buy it, submit that lead to us, and we can either buy it, we could find you a buyer, or I can hop on the phone with the seller if it is just a lead and not a deal, and I can close it for you, and we will partner up on the deal. So silverhomies.com. You see it down at the bottom over here. But everybody, I appreciate y'all watching. If this got any value to your dome piece, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Me and Felipe appreciate all of you. Give Felipe a follow, by the way, on Instagram. That's your Instagram, Felipe.
Sir.
Love it. What does that mean, bro?
So my last name is Passos. If you translate that to English, it means steps.
Steps?
Yeah.
I love that.
Mm.
What do you mean, like steps? That could be a bunch of different things.
Like actual like steps, like paces, like how many?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It makes a lot.
It's like it's a bilingual like little joke.
Okay. I love it. All right, cool. Felipe, if you want to stay in the backstage really quick.
Yes, sir. But yeah, guys, everything we do here is crazy, just full transparency. And I just talked to Mike about all my questions and what I want to do, what I don't know, what to do. And he just answers them, and we're giving it out to you guys because, everyone else is just showing all the sunshines and rainbows of the business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what we realize is we're just like, we're hopping on an hour call a day pretty much, going over deals and how we get things to the finish line and questions and strategies and all these things. Why don't we just give the people, our sauce, what we're giving out?
Yeah.
Why are we holding it to ourselves? But anyways, peace out, people.